focus on me, baby? Can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus on me?
Hello everyone, it is Books and Looks TV. Today I will be discussing colorism. Before I get into that, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to support the channel. Subscribing is free, by the way. Okay, so boom. Colorism is defined as prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group by the Oxford Language Dictionary. As many of you know, colorism is a huge problem amongst Black folks, melanated folks, and globally. It all is an impact of racism and white supremacy, in my humble opinion. So today's points are discrimination, perception, bleaching, opportunities, quality of life, awakening, and solutions. I will use various data to support my ideas, so you can always fact check on your own time. As said earlier, colorism is a prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone. This results in unfair and detrimental experiences for more melanated folks, amongst many onlookers. For instance, in media, dark-skinned folks are often perpetuated as negative, evil, or frankly, up to no good. They are often the villain and not given roles that depict virtue or diverse personalities. On the contrary, lighter-skinned folks are often seen as beautiful, good, or at least given the benefit of the doubt. Often they have more roles that encourage the perception that they are trustworthy and thus should be accepted and often worshipped to a degree. Though many have understood that the media is often used to program people, there has been an ongoing brainwashing that has probably existed for centuries about lighter and darker skinned people. Even in the Bible, some people will cite that Black people are cursed or darker skinned people are cursed. So again, even religion sometimes justifies the mistreatment of Black or darker skinned people. Dark colorism has impacted the lives of people and their self-esteem, and how we even view romance and dating. So now I will connect this with bleaching. Bleaching is a huge market globally. While some people start to slowly change their skin, others are very adamant about being lighter and or sustaining their complexion. I'm not talking about simply taking an umbrella out during the summertime to block the harmful rays of the sun. But I'm talking about spending hundreds, even thousands on whitening, cosmetics, and even surgery to appear more desirable. Two women I will briefly discuss are Lil' Kim and Blac Chyna. Lil' Kim was a beautiful dark-skinned woman. Many male fans even admit that they had found her very beautiful and had posters of her on their bedroom walls as young men. However, Lil' Kim did not feel secure in herself in real life. She has mentioned in interviews and magazines that every guy she dated cheated on her with someone who was light-skinned. Many people compare the knowingly relationship of Biggie and Lil' Kim, or see Lil' Kim as a mistress to Faith Evans, who is very light-skinned. Yet again, Biggie was not her only lover, and as you can see, Lil' Kim and Faith Evans do not look alike at all. As far as bleaching, these stories are very sad, but they're often true for people who desire a sense of peace and social upward mobility. Perhaps that is why people like Blac Chyna invested in such a whitening cream and now appears to look noticeably lighter skinned. Studies show that lighter skinned people often get more opportunities and thus have a better quality of life. So again, when we talk about quality of life, as you know, racism in general impacts Black people's ability to achieve or master certain things. And again, discrimination can be overt or subtle. And so as far as darker skinned people, I'm just going to read what has been listed in an article. Dark skinned partakers have often complained about and counted on feelings and scenarios of powerlessness and imbecility when confronting situations of social, economic, and relational opportunities because of their skin tone. Colorism affects how someone sees and feels about themselves, how someone treats themselves, and how their actual behavior in various situations. Colorism attitudes contribute to higher rates of sexual risk and substance use behaviors and abuse disorders. Hazardous acts like skin bleaching is also one of them. Continuing exposure to stereotypes can result in self stereotyping. A person begins to behave in ways congruent with those stereotypes. They gradually stop socializing, going out, meeting people. They choose nights over days to go out for groceries, wear full sleeves to hide more of their body parts. And a number of studies and experiments have led to the findings that a long term discrimination of color faced and witnessed by a person can lead to several mental disturbances and disorders. Some major illnesses are like body dysmorphic disorder, body image issues, anxiety, social anxiety, trauma symptoms, low self esteem, depression, and our very underrated high risk factor, stress. Noble 2012. And some common emotional reactions that gets built up because of this unfairness are like fear, hypervigilance, self-blame, confusion, shame, guilt, and more. And yeah, I know everyone doesn't feel that way. There are a lot of confident people, whether they're light skinned or dark skinned. But again, there are a lot of people who have been constantly criticized, shamed, and they do have this, like, again, hypervigilance or self doubt because of it. So, again, these things can impact someone's health, which is a part of their quality of life. So often in media, darker skinned women are replaced by lighter skinned women, and oftentimes without any notice or transitions. And one noticeably character was Aunt Viv, or the original Aunt Viv from The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. A lot of people enjoyed her character. She was very versatile, strong, smart, and just witty in general. And when she was replaced, a lot of people wondered, like, what happened to her. It went as far as to people going online and calling themselves the dark skin Aunt Viv or the light skin Aunt Viv, and just people constantly questioning about that time period. Well, what happened to her? What's her story?
About why you left the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and I think
But
the speculation.
why?
I think it's because a lot of fans were just sad and shocked when they saw you leave the show. Are you comfortable for one last time setting the record straight in a few words?
Yes.
As to why you left?
Yes. They offered me 10 episodes, with which I said no. That was 10 weeks of work. And then they said you can't act or perform anywhere else. And so that was cutting my salary by $150,000 a year. How could I pay the bills that I needed to pay for 10 episodes? I could not. So I think they thought I would take it. It was sort of like I was hogtied. And then they said, we want you to go before the cameras, and we want you to go before the world and tell the world that this was your idea. And I said, hell no. And then they said, well, you know what? We're just going to move on.
And as people like reflected on it and nostalgia in general, there was interviews with Janet Hubert, and there was also a reunion where Janet Hubert told her side of the story and how colorism and Will Smith's comments actually impacted her actress career. Even in entertainment, we see that lighter skinned people often get more acting roles that are diverse or seen as pure. And also, many lighter skinned people are dominating the rap industry. And when I say light skin, I'm also including ambiguous looking folks and biracial people. The next on the hierarchy, though, when we talk about colorism, aside from light skinned people, are brown skin. And I think that brown skinned people also have a privilege because, especially if you're like medium brown or caramel, because a lot of times you're not the darkest person. And I might actually make a video about brown skin privilege. But again, when you're brown skin, like Megan Thee Stallion or Halle Berry or Jada, etc., you're often still seen as beautiful, and you get to get privileges that a lot of darker skinned people don't get. And again, we also see that in the industry when we see like darker skinned people playing slaves or talented darker skinned rappers being overlooked by their lighter counterparts. Though there seems to be more awakening to this element, aside from folks like me on YouTube, there are also books and documentaries and conversations and sister circles to address such pain and trauma. Dr. Sarah L. Webb is the founder and owner of Colorism Healing LLC, and she suggests, well, one of her suggestions towards colorism is that we examine our attitudes regardless of what color we are, regardless of which direction our bias is projected, and regardless of whether or not we feel complicit. And I think, again, that this is important. Again, I think this is also important because if we want to be solution makers or unbiased, we have to examine our place within the spectrum of colorism. We have to examine our place in the world. And again, what are we doing to make sure that all Black people, specifically those who are more discriminated, are comfortable and have more opportunities and a better quality of life if we truly care about our Black sisters and brothers. There are allies who even step up to address colorism and encourage roles to be given to darker skinned women whom are often not as represented or given the best opportunities. I know there are critics who believe that I am someone aiming to make Black women feel bad, yet that's not true. Colorism existed before me, and I don't believe that by addressing this or other issues that I'm creating a bigger problem. As the great Audre Lorde once said, your silence will not save you. As the retired Lupe Fiasco once said, I know y'all saying Lupe talking about the same ish, but that's because ain't nothing changed, B. And so I'm going to keep talking about it. And if you don't want to hear it, step up and do something to make this world a better place. But until then, thank you for watching Books and Looks TV. I'll see you next time.